The world is threatened by a mysterious emergency, and the danger is only growing. Can 4 talented children, with the help of a brilliant Mr. Benedict, rescue everyone before it is too late? This is the mysterious Benedict Society. Rennie's hands were clammy with nervous sweat. He was trembling violently. All the other test takers were having similar reactions. Several turned quite pale, and one even turned a faint shade of green. What was so awful about this test that the other test takers were nearly fainting? When Rennie read the first question of the test, he at once understood. The questions were impossible. Waveringly, Rennie glanced at the second page of the test. It was no better. If anything, it was worse. Rennie groaned as the single clock on the instructor's desk ticked away, seemingly unchecked by the children's misery. Rennie was simply doomed to fail. He knew it. All the others knew it. It was over. No special privileges. Back to the orphanage he would go, just like the others. Why had he thought he was any better than any other kid his age? How had he gotten into this mess? It all started, as Rennie recalled, early yesterday morning at the Stonetown orphanage. The morning had started out decently enough. Rennie had woken up, as always, to the distant sound of Stonetown's bustling port and the noise of early rush hour traffic. As usual, he had snuck downstairs so as not to wake the other boys for his Tamil lesson with his tutor, Miss Parable. It was there that he learned about the advertisement and first heard about some special opportunities. If only he had known what those special opportunities would entail.
Does that mean, would you like some honey in your tea?
Very good, Rennie. Your Tamil is improving. Rennie, did you read the newspaper this morning? Look at this. Would you be interested?
No, I did not. Well, what is it?
It says, "Are you a gifted child looking for special opportunities?"
I guess I am.
Just think, Rennie, this is the chance of a lifetime. You've always wanted to do something exciting.
I suppose I might be interested if you think I would qualify.
Rennie Muldoon, don't you play games with me. If you aren't the most talented child I've ever known, then I've never known a child at all. Look, there are several sessions for these special privileges. The one on Saturday would work, don't you think?
Unfortunately, on Friday, Miss Paramore's mother fell ill, and Miss Paramore could not take him.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes?
And I wanted to inform you that
Oh, she's not feeling well? What? Of course I'll go take care of her. All right.
Goodbye.
Bye. Brittany, I'm afraid there's been a change in plans. My mother's taken ill and I have to go take care of her. I won't be able to take you to the test myself. Do you think you could manage on your own?
I suppose so.
This was a real disappointment to Rennie, and not just because of the delay. He always looked forward to Miss Paramore's company, even the occasional sighs she made when she didn't think he was aware. And despite their melancholy, Rennie loved to hear them. Miss Paramore sighed when she was feeling sad for him, sad to see him teased by the other children, sad the poor boy had lost his parents, and Rennie wished he hadn't worried her, but he did like knowing she cared. She was the only one who did. Quite apart from his eagerness to take the special test, Rennie simply missed Miss Paramore. He was hopeful then when Mr. Rutger, the orphanage director, informed him late that evening that Miss Paramore's mother was considerably improved.
Oh, there you are, Reynard. I've been looking all over for you. What are you doing in the reading room?
It's peaceful and quiet in here, and an escape from the bullies.
Well, I came to inform you that your tutor's mother is very much improved. Miss Paramore just called. She asked for you, but you were not in the dining hall, so I took a message for you.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear it.
Yes, nothing like health. Miss Paramore mentioned something about a test and special opportunities. What's this all about? Not another advanced school, is it?
Well, we were just going to see what it was all about.
Well, no harm in that, I suppose. But I want to report on what you find. Say 10 pages. No hurry. You can turn it in tomorrow night.
Does this mean I get to go?
I thought I told you. Miss Paramol will pick you up in the morning. Oh, my sinuses. Rainy, be a good man and dust the shelves, will you?
After hearing this news, Rennie could hardly return to his reading. He flailed about with the feather duster and went straight to bed, as if doing so would hasten the morning's arrival. Just before dawn, he rose quietly, got ready with the lights off so as not to disturb his roommates, and hurried down to the kitchen. Miss Paramol was already waiting for him. She had been too excited to sleep as well, and had arrived early. The kettle was just beginning to whistle on the stove, and Miss Paramol, with her back to him, was setting out cups and saucers.
Good morning, Miss Paramol. I'm glad to hear that your mother's doing better.
Thank you, Rennie. Rennie, you'll never make an impression dressed like that. What a combination. Striped pants and a checkered shirt. Besides, those are too big for you. And what? Mismatched socks.
I was just hoping to dress lucky, I guess.
Luckily, you won't need luck. Now, please go change again, and this time with the light on. Never mind what the other boys say.
All right. There, that's better. I'm ready now.
Much better. Let's get in my car. Buckle up. We should be there in a few minutes. Here we are. Let's get out.
I thought you were dropping me off.
Oh, Rennie, really? You didn't think I would just drop you off without investigating first, did you? The notice didn't even list a telephone number for questions. It's a bit out of the ordinary, don't you think?
Yeah. Let's get in line. Boy, look how many people. There's at least 100 other children over there. How will we ever get in? Don't worry, son. You haven't got long to wait. All the children are to go inside in a few minutes. They made that announcement shortly before you arrived. Thank you, sir.
Very well. Everything is set. You may call on the telephone when you're done. Here's the number. If I'm not back by then, you may call a taxi and Mr. Rutger will pay the fare. You can tell me all about it this afternoon.
Thanks so much for everything, Miss Paramol.
Oh, Rennie, you silly child, don't act so grateful. It's nothing at all. I'll give your poor tutor a hug. I don't imagine my services will be needed after this.
I haven't passed it yet, Miss Paramol.
Stop being silly. Goodbye now.
As Rennie watched his tutor walk away, a pain of loneliness stabbed him like a knife in the dark. What would he ever do without his beloved tutor there to encourage him? However, he hadn't long to think about that, for just then the doors to the monk building were flung open.
Test participants, it is time to commence.
I was here first! Let me in! Stop pushing me!
Rennie was swept helplessly along in the bustling crowd. He barely had a chance to gather his bearings before he was ushered into room 5, where he and about 50 other children were told to sit and wait for the test to be passed out. Rennie watched as a young lady in a mustard yellow suit walked up and down the aisles passing out pamphlets. With an encouraging smile, she handed one to Rennie.
Here you go.
Then she hurried to the front of the room and wound the clock. They had exactly 1 hour to do the test,
Ready,
starting
set, go.
now. With a jolt, Rennie hurriedly turned to the first page. However, he was in for quite a surprise. It was a curious test. The first section was rather what Rennie would have expected.
Which of these shapes is a hexagon? How many kilograms of flour would it take to fill a silo with a radius of 20 feet and a height of 40 feet? Let's see. A kilogram is 2 liters, 28 liters in a cubic foot. If 2 trains 10 miles apart are simultaneously racing towards each other at the speed of 42 miles per hour, how many...
Rennie raced through these questions, and many liked them, and then came to the second section, whose first question was,
Do you like to watch television? What? What kind of question is this? Well, of course I do, since everyone does. Wait, do I really? No, I suppose not.
The more he thought about it, the more he realized that he did not, in fact, like to watch television at all.
No. Do you like to listen to the radio? Well, I guess not either. What is wrong with this statement? It's not a statement at all. It's a question. According to the rules of chess, is this position on the chessboard possible? Only one black pawn is removed. Yes. Are you brave? Are you brave? I've never needed to be brave. Miss Paramall would say I am, but she's my teacher. I don't know. I hope so.
Rennie laid down his pencil and looked around. Most of the other children were also finishing the test. At the front of the room, munching rather loudly on an apple, the test administrator was keeping a close eye on them to ensure they didn't cheat. She was a thin woman in a mustard yellow suit with a yellowish complexion, short-cropped, rusty red hair, and a stiff posture. She reminded Rennie of a giant walking pencil.
Time's up, children. Lay down your pencils, please.
But I'm not finished yet. I want more time. If they couldn't have finished that test, why shouldn't they come up like that chess question? Who could have missed it?
Ha! You're just lucky you didn't miss it yourself. It's so simple. That test was for babies.
Are you calling me a baby?
Rennie was suddenly very anxious. Could he have possibly answered that question wrong? And what about the other questions? Except for the odd ones about television and bravery, they had all seemed easy. But perhaps he was such a strange bird that he had misunderstood everything.
Oh no.
He shook his head and tried not to care. If he wanted to prove himself brave, after all, he had better stop worrying. If he must return to his old routine at the orphanage, at least he had Miss Paramall. Rennie told himself this, but his anxious feeling did not fade. After all the tests had been turned in, the pencil woman stepped out of the room, leaving the children to bite their nails and watch the clock. Only a few minutes passed, however, before she returned.
I shall now read the names of the children admitted to the second phase of the test. If your name is called, you are to report to the Monk Building on 3rd Street no later than 1 o'clock, where you will join children from other sessions who also passed. Please note that you shall only bring 1 pencil and 1 eraser. All other items are strictly prohibited. Yes, Reynard?
Excuse me, you said to only bring 1 pencil. But what if the lead breaks? Will there be a sharpener?
Yes, if necessary, a sharpener will be provided. Children must not bring their own. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I shall now read the list of those who passed. Reynard Muldoon!
What? Him? You're kidding?
What are you waiting for? That is all. You are dismissed.
Excuse me, miss. May I please use your telephone? My tutor said...
I'm sorry, Reynard, but there isn't one here.
But Miss Paramall...
I'm sure you can make it without one, can't you? Now, if you'll excuse me, I must sneak out the back door.
Sneak out?
I've learned from experiences. Any moment now, these children's parents will come storming in to demand explanations. Unfortunately, I have none to give, so therefore off I go. I'll see you later this afternoon. Don't be late.
But...
It had been a strange business indeed, and Rennie had a suspicion it was to grow stranger still. The distant church bell struck the quarter hour. If the doors to the Monk Building weren't open by now, he would try to find another way in. At this point, it would hardly surprise him to discover he must enter the Monk Building through a basement window. As he mounted the steps towards the Monk Building's broad front plaza, Rennie saw a boy and a girl walking together toward the front doors. other test takers, he guessed. One girl, who seemed to have green hair, though perhaps this was a trick of the light. The sun shone blindingly bright today, was carelessly flinging her pencil up into the air and catching it again. Not the best idea. Sure enough, even as Rennie thought this, the girl missed the pencil and watched it fall through a grate at her feet. For a moment, the other boy hesitated, as if he might try to help. Then he looked at his watch. It was already 1 o'clock. Clearly, it had occurred to him that if the green-haired girl had lost her pencil, there would be less competition.
I'm sorry about your pencil. It's a shame. Sorry. I have to go.
With a spreading smile, he hurried across the plaza and through the doors of the monk building, which had finally been unlocked.
The metal grate covered a storm drain that ran beneath the plaza, and the unfortunate girl was staring through it, down into the darkness, when Rennie reached her.
Oh, what am I to do? I don't have another.
Her appearance was striking, indeed, even startling. She had coal-black skin, hair so long she could have tied it around her waist, and yes, it truly was green, and an extraordinarily puffy white dress.
Excuse me, you dropped your pencil? What rotten luck! And to drop it here of all places.
You don't happen to have an extra, do you?
I'm sorry, I was told to bring...
Yes, I know. Only one pencil. Well, that was my only pencil, and a fat lot of good it will do me down that drain. Well, what are you waiting for? Go on. The test starts any minute.
I'm not just going to leave you here without a pencil. By the way, I never formally introduced myself. I'm Reynard Muldoon. You can call me Rennie.
A pleasure to meet you, Rennie. I'm Rhonda Kazembe. So now that we're friends and all that, how do you intend to help me? We have to hurry, or we'll both be immediately disqualified.
Actually, I don't intend to get your pencil at all. Here, take the other half of mine. That way we can both have one. I'll sharpen mine inside.
Why, thank you. It would never have occurred to me breaking it like that.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
Hold on, I have something for you. I wasn't going to tell you, but since you have helped me so much, I thought I'd let you in on a little secret. I intend to make a perfect score on this test, Rennie.
You do? How?
Shh, not so loud. You see, I have the answers copied down on this slip of paper. I snuck in earlier and got a good look at the teacher's book. Are you in?
No, I'm afraid not. Thank you anyway. I'd rather not.
Well, suit yourself. I hope you know what you're in for, though. Let's get in before it's too late. Come on.
Inside the monk building, conspicuously posted signs led them down a series of corridors, past a room where a handful of parents waited anxiously, and at last into a room crowded with children and desks. Except for the unusual silence, the room was just like any other schoolroom, with a chalkboard at the front and a teacher's desk, upon which rested a pencil sharpener, a ruler, and a sign that said, "No talking. If you are caught talking, it will be assumed you are cheating." Only 2 seats remained empty, one behind the other. To guarantee he wouldn't be tempted to cheat, Rennie chose the one in front. A clock on the wall struck 1, just as Rhonda Kazembe dropped into the desk behind him.
That was close. There shall be absolutely no talking. Any child caught cheating will be immediately executed. Excused. Is that clear? Now then, are you all relaxed? It is extremely important to be relaxed when taking such an extremely difficult test as this, especially considering how long it is and how little time you'll have to complete it. You there, quiet.
But I only groaned.
Do you mean to suggest that saying I only groaned doesn't count as talking? Very well. Let this be a warning to all of you. From this moment, there shall be no talking, period. Now then, are there any questions? Yes, Renard. Yes, you may use the pencil sharpener on my desk. You shall have 1 hour to complete this test. You must follow these directions exactly. First, write your name. Second, read all the answers carefully. Third, choose your answers. Fifth, bring the completed test to me. Sixth, return to your seat and wait for time to be called. I will announce the names of all who pass.
The children were shifting uneasily in their seats. What had happened to the 4th step? the pencil woman had skipped from 3rd to 5th. The children looked at one another, not daring to speak. What if the 4th step was important? Rennie was waiting, hoping someone else would raise a hand for a change. When no one did, he timidly raised his own.
Yes, Rennie?
I'm afraid you left out the 4th step.
Good question. There is no 4th step. Any other questions? No problem. You may begin the test as soon as you receive it. If you feel faint, place your head between your knees and take deep breaths. If you need to vomit, come to the front where a trash can will be provided. I'm afraid loud weeping is not permitted. Please leave the room. If any others flee the room in panic or dismay, please remember to close the door behind you. Your sobs may disturb the other test takers.
The pencil woman continued handing out the tests. Child after child received it with trembling fingers, and child after child, upon looking at the questions, turned pale or red or even a subtle shade of green. By the time the pencil woman dropped the pages upon his desk, dread was making Rennie's stomach flop like a fish. And for good reason. The questions were impossible.
Oh no! I'm really in for it. Question number 1. The territories of the Naxkavan Autonomous Republic and the Nagorno-Karabakh region are disputed by what 2 countries? A. Britain and Bhutan under the 1865 Treaty of Sinchulu. B. Azerbaijan and Russia divided in 1828 under the Treaty of Turkmenchay. And C. Vanuatu and Portugal.
Although there were 2 more answers to choose from, Rennie did not read them. If every question was like this one, he had absolutely no hope of passing. A quick glance at the next few questions did nothing to encourage him. If anything, they got worse. All around him, children were shivering, sighing, grinding their teeth. Rennie felt like joining them. So much for those special opportunities. Back to the orphanage he would go.
Oh boy, I'm finished.
Even so, Rennie wasn't quite ready to leave. He had yet to follow the directions, and because he was determined not to quit until he had at least tried.
Hold on. What was the first thing that lady said? Oh yes, write your name carefully at the top. There. The first step is completed. Now, she said to read all the questions carefully. Here goes. What is the common vetch? A bird, a plant, antelope, or a rodent? What are fermions? Which church was built by Emperor Justinian?
Just as Rennie reached the middle of the test, he heard Rhonda Kazembe rise from behind him.
Is she already finished? Of course, she has the answers.
Rennie grimaced in irritation as Rhonda stepped forward to turn in her test, the other children gasping in amazement. But the pencil woman seemed not the least suspicious. Rhonda was calling attention to herself on purpose. It was a trick. No one would suspect her of cheating, because who in her right mind would make such a spectacle of herself if she intended to cheat? As Rhonda passed by him on her way back to her desk, she winked and let fall a tiny slip of paper. It drifted down like a feather and settled lightly upon Rennie's desk. The test answers. Rennie peeked over at the pencil woman, but she hadn't noticed. She was busy grading Rhonda's test by now, making checkmark after checkmark and nodding her head. The answers were indeed the right ones, and here they sat on his desk. If he'd felt tempted before, it was nothing compared to now. No matter that he resisted, no matter that he'd chosen this seat precisely to avoid this situation, here he was, staring at a slip of paper that contained the key to his hopes. All he had to do was turn it over and look at the answers. Once again, he glanced at the pencil woman. She had finished grading Rhonda's paper and was concentrating on the nearly empty jar of pickles on her desk, trying to fish out the last one. Rennie stared a long moment at the paper, sorely tempted. Then he reached out and flicked it from his desk and onto the floor. What good would those opportunities do him if he wasn't qualified to be given them? And where was the pleasure in cheating? A few seconds passed before he could tear his eyes from the paper on the floor.
No, I can't take that. Ugh. Get a move on now, Rennie, and don't look back. there's still half the test to read. Question number 21. After the fall of the Russian Empire, when a failed attempt to create a Transcaucasian republic with Georgia and Armenia led to the creation of the country of Azerbaijan, which currently disputes with Armenia the territories of the Nakhchivan Autonomous Republic in the Nagorno-Karabakh region, from what key powers... That's it! I'm sure I've read this before. I wonder where. Wait, question 1. Something about that. Amazing! The answers are given here in the test. This isn't a test at all, but a puzzle. I'd better hurry if I'm going to finish in time. Only 2 more minutes. There. That's right. That's the answer to question 5. There, another one answered. Almost done. Done!
I didn't get enough time.
Time's up, children. Lay down your pencils, please. Nice work. You managed it on your own. I shall now read the names of those who passed the test. If your name is called, you will advance to the 3rd stage of testing, so please remain seated and await further instructions.
There's gonna be a 3rd
Those
stage?
whose names are not called are free to go. Renard Muldoon! What are you all staring at? That is all. You are dismissed. You may go.
Aw, man. Didn't get enough time.
Rennie, alone in the room now, was trying to make sense of what had happened. Why hadn't Rhonda Kazembe's name been called? Was it because she cheated? Did she have all the wrong answers after all? And where did she get those answers in the first place? It was all very mysterious. And the most intriguing was Rhonda's behavior when she was dismissed along with the others.
Rennie's musings were interrupted by a very timid knock on the door.
Hello?
A young boy's face appeared in the doorway. The first thing Rennie noticed was that the boy was notably skinny. He had big, nervous eyes like a horse's, and for some odd reason, a perfectly smooth, bald head. His tiny, wire-rimmed spectacles gave him the distinguished look of a scholar. A fidgety scholar, though. He seemed quite shy and anxious.
Hello? I suppose this is where I'm supposed to wait.
I have no idea. It's where I'm supposed to wait, so I guess so. You're welcome to join me. By the way, I'm Rennie Muldoon.
Oh, my name is Sticky Washington. The yellow lady told me to come and sit with a boy named Renard.
That would be me. People call me that for short.
I see.
Are you here for the 3rd test?
Yeah, I've waited all day since 10. Lucky I had a pair with me, or I might have starved. The others got donuts. For some reason, we never got any.
I wondered the same thing. Were you the only one that passed in your group?
Nope. A little girl passed too, but I haven't seen her since yesterday. They told her to come back at a different time. Was there an extremely small girl in your group, about half your size?
No.
Maybe she'll be joining later. Anyway, I was the only one who passed the 2nd test, which surprised me because...
Because there was a girl who cheated?
Exactly! How'd you know?
The same thing happened to me. I think it's a trick of some kind. Tell me, this girl didn't happen to drop her pencil, did she?
Yes, she did. I can't believe anybody would take such a chance since we were only allowed 1 pencil.
What did you do?
Well, I tried to help her, of course. I felt awfully sorry for her, so I had her hold on to my feet and lower me down the storm grate where it fell. She was strong as a bear and had no trouble doing it. I'm so skinny, I fit right through. It was terrifying, though. I don't mind admitting it, being in the dark, hanging upside down, groping around and all. I get mixed up when I'm scared.
You were lucky to find your pencil. It was pitch black in that drain.
No, I didn't find it. But do you know what she did? She hauled me back up and said, "Oh well, at least have an extra pencil." Can you believe it? After all that trouble I went through too. And to top it off, to thank me, she offered me the answers to the test. Apparently they didn't do her any good though, so I'm glad I refused.
Me too. I think that was part of the test.
If so, it's a little creepy, don't you think? but they were very nice to let me to the third stage, even though I missed a few questions. That was generous of them.
Wait a minute. How could you miss any? Did you circle the wrong answers by accident?
Oh, well, I suppose the questions were easy for you, but for me, they were rather difficult. Time ran out before I could finish the last 3, so I had to guess and hope I'd get lucky. I didn't, of course, but they were very forgiving.
You mean you knew the answers to those questions?
Well, yes, I guess I do look rather stupid, don't I? I look like someone who doesn't know anything. I understand that.
No, I didn't mean that. I can't believe anybody actually knew the answers. 1 or 2, maybe, but not all.
Oh, well, I do know a lot of things, I guess, which is why people call me Sticky, because things just stick in my head.
Perfectly amazing. But if you figured out the puzzle, why did you solve it that way?
What puzzle?
The questions contained the answers. Didn't you notice that the information was repeated throughout?
Well, I guess I did notice that some of the questions seemed familiar, but I was so busy trying to answer the questions, I didn't pay attention to that. I guess the question on colloidal suspensions really had me sweating. I can tell you, when I'm anxious, I tend to get mixed up. I tend to get anxious a lot.
Well, you didn't know it was a puzzle, and I didn't know the answers, but we're both here now. We'd make a great team, don't you think?
You think? Yes, I suppose we would.
So, where do you live?
Well, I've been here at this building, obviously, for quite a while. Before that, I sort of camped out near here in the streets, waiting to get in.
Weren't your parents worried? Didn't you call them?
Oh, whoa! What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with you?
Who are you running from?
Nobody. I was running to this room. Old Yellow Suit told me to come here and wait, so I did. Kate Weatherall, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
I guess.
I'm Rennie Muldoon, and this is Sticky Washington. I guess what Sticky meant was, why were you running, not walking?
Why not? It's faster. You seem like nice fellows. So why do they call you Sticky? You don't feel sticky.
It's a long story.
I understand. It's always that way with nicknames. I've tried to get people to call me the Great Kate Weather Machine. It's never stuck. I don't suppose you would call me that, would you?
It does seem a bit awkward for a nickname. It takes a while to say.
Well, we'll think about it.
Fine.
What's in the bucket?
What do you mean? Don't you know what buckets do? It's for carrying things, silly.
I know that, but why now? Most people don't carry buckets for fun.
That's true. I've often noticed that. Still, I don't understand why. I can't imagine not having one. How else would I tote my things?
What things?
I'll show you.
So, Kate proceeded to remove things from her bucket. First came a Swiss Army knife, a flashlight, a pen light, and a bottle of extra strength glue, which Kate examined to be sure its lid was tightly closed. Then she produced a bag of marbles, a slingshot, a spool of clear fishing twine, 1 pencil and 1 eraser, a kaleidoscope, and a horseshoe magnet, which she yanked with some effort from the metal bucket. Finally, she showed them a length of slender nylon rope coiled around the bottom and sides of the bucket.
That is a lot of stuff to carry.
It's all useful, isn't it? And if I didn't have that bucket after what happened this morning...
You mean with Rhonda?
One and the same. How do you know her name?
The same thing happened to us.
Interesting. Well, that girl, what was her name again?
Rhonda.
Yeah, Rhonda. Anyway, she accidentally dropped her pencil in a storm drain. I had to pry the metal grate open with my screwdriver and Swiss Army knife. And then I had to use my flashlight to locate the pencil. It was stuck in a crack exactly 6 inches deep, so I had to use my string with a bit of glue on the tip to get it. I couldn't have done anything without my bucket with me. Now, could I have?
Weren't you afraid?
Afraid? Afraid of what? Getting wet? We haven't had rain in days.
How did you know that the crack was exactly 6 inches deep without a tape measure?
Oh, I can always tell distances and weights and that sort of thing. For example, just by looking at it, I can tell that this room is 22 feet long and 16 feet wide.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I have an idea. Let's grab the tape measure off the desk and measure it. Here we go. Sticky, you hold the other end.
Okay.
Impossible! This room is exactly what you said, Kate. 22 by 16 feet. I'm impressed.
Not bad.
Sorry for the interruption. Back to your story. Did Rhonda offer you the answers on the test so that you could cheat?
You sure seem to know a lot about it. Were you spying on me somehow?
Of course not. But that's what we figured. It's what happened to both me and Sticky here. So I take it you solved the puzzle? Unless, of course, you knew the answers?
Of course I didn't know all the answers. Who could've?
Sticky does.
What? That's crazy.
I know. I didn't believe it when I first heard it either. How did you pass then?
Actually, I didn't. I helped old Yellowsuit out of a tight spot. The kids were outraged over being dismissed, and the consolation donut trick wasn't going to put a stop to it. So I figured I'd help her out. After all, I figured she was only doing her job, whatever it is. At least she's giving me something interesting to do.
What did you do?
Well, while the grown-ups were still yelling and all the other kids were getting sick on the donuts, I whipped out my Swiss Army knife, unscrewed the doorknob, pointed, and yelled, "There's a man behind all this! There he is, in the corner!" Of course, everyone excepting old Yellowsuit rushed inside, and I slammed the door shut on them. There was quite a ruckus inside, let me tell you. But I gave old Yellowsuit a chance. She and I rushed down the hall and hid in a closet as the other angry hornets broke down the door and rushed past. After we heard the last person leave, old Yellowsuit smiled at me and said,
Whew! Thank you. You just saved my day. I think you should stay for the third stage of testing.
So, here I am.
Amazing!
I can't believe it. You're a hero.
Oh, stop it. Anybody could have done it.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt your conversation, but it's time for the third test. Please report immediately to room 7B.
There she goes again. Stinker.
Where is room 7B?
I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Come on.
All right.
The children proceeded to walk down the hallway. However, they could find no room 7B. There was one unmarked door, however, between 7A and 7C.
Could this be
and
the
after
door?
exploring the other possibilities, they tentatively knocked on this one. When there was no response, Rennie knocked harder. Exasperated, Kate thumped loudly on the door with her fist. Suddenly, a figure
quite that
loomed
hard.
up behind them. The children whirled around in surprise.
That's enough with the knocking. Come in.
Before them stood a tall man in a weather-beaten hat, a weather-beaten jacket, and trousers and weather-beaten boots. His ruddy cheeks were dark with whisker stubble, while his hair, what little peeked from beneath his hat, was yellow as flax. If not for the alertness in his ocean blue eyes, he would resemble, more than anything, a scarecrow that had come off its stake. On top of this, the man's expression was profoundly sad.
Whoa, he looks like a tramp.
Shh. Are you alright, sir?
I'm afraid not. But that's neither here nor there. Are you ready for the next test?
But we haven't met yet. I'm Kate Weatherall, though my friends call me... Never mind. Well, they call me Kate. And here's Rennie and Sticky.
There, we've met. Now,
But we don't know your name.
call me Milligan.
Is that your first or last name?
Just Milligan. No more questions. Now, who is George?
Me.
Excuse me. Didn't you catch that their names are Sticky and Rennie?
Actually, my name is really George. Sticky's my nickname.
You mean like George Washington? The father of our country?
It's not that unusual, is it? You don't have to tease me.
I was only joking. Take it easy.
Sticky, or George, whichever it is. Come in here. I'll shut the door behind you.
I have to go in alone?
It's all right. It's only a test. The others will be with you soon.
You'll do fine.
Go, Sticky!
Stop stalling. You've polished your spectacles 20 times already. Go on.
Without a word, As soon as Sticky had gone through the door, Milligan walked briskly down the hallway and around a corner, out of sight.
How do you like that? Just deserted us without telling us where to go or what to do.
Big surprise. Oh, look, he's back now. Your turn now, Rennie. See you on the other side. Good luck.
Bye for now, old pal.
Rennie took a deep breath and went in, the door closing tight behind him. He found himself in an empty room. Rennie looked around. On the cement floor, just inside the door, where he now stood, was a large red circle. On the other side of the room, by the opposite door, was another red circle. Between these circles, the floor resembled a giant checkerboard with alternating rectangles of blue, black, and yellow.
Alright, here goes. I wonder what I'm supposed to do. Oh, it looks like there are directions. Cross the room without stepping on a white or black square. Oh no! There are only a few scattered red circles, and everything is either black or white squares. Hold on a second. Ah! Another trick! Those aren't squares at all. They're rectangles. I can walk right across.
With quick strides, Rennie crossed the room and reached the other end, where he opened the door and found Sticky waiting for him. They watched through a crack in the wall as Kate entered the room.
What's this? Cross the room without stepping on a white or black square. That's easy. We'll just walk across on a tightrope. There, that's it. Rope caught on the other doorknob. Better hope it's strong. Here I go. Whoa. Wish I'd brought paddle with me. There, I made it. Whew.
Try again. This time without the rope.
That's hardly fair. No one said she couldn't use the rope.
Do as I say.
Alright. Wonder how I'll cross this time. Guess I could turn my bucket on its side and roll across. First I'll have to empty it, of course.
With this in mind, Kate unloaded her bucket and put its contents in her pockets so that they bulged ridiculously.
There, that's the way. Here I go. Just like at the circus. Here I am. Did I pass?
No. Give me the bucket. Try again.
Huh? What do you want? Oh well, I guess I can do it on my hands.
Annoyed, Kate proceeded to do the test one last time, this time doing handstands. She completed the challenge easily enough and was back on her feet the moment she crossed. Only then did Milligan acknowledge that she had passed the test.
All right, children. Time to move on. Inside this tunnel.
So the children followed Milligan into the tunnel. It was dank and dark. Their footsteps echoed down the long shaft. There were dripping sounds all around, and occasionally the children could hear scuttling sounds from deep within the tunnel, possibly rats. There was no end in sight, and the children shuddered. All the while, Milligan led them silently onward. At last, Sticky broke the silence.
I don't understand. How is it that you walked straight across, Rennie? I mean, I had to literally crawl across the floor on my hands and knees. It hurt. And there you were, just walking clean across as if it didn't matter to you. How did Milligan possibly let you pass?
It was another trick. Those weren't squares at all. They were rectangles. The sign said not to step on any squares.
That's true. How did I not think of that?
How could I have been so stupid?
You're hardly stupid. You passed and are here, aren't you?
The question is, where is here? Yuck. It's like a sewer down here.
Actually, it is.
Cool.
You don't have to tell me.
Look at those humongous rats crawling about. There must be hundreds.
Stop it, Rennie. That gives me the shivers. Where's the sunlight and the path that isn't wet? Where it doesn't smell like spoiled fish.
Where is it so pitch dark? I don't suppose we could walk up in normal air without creepy things falling on our heads. Maybe I should go out with a flashlight.
Sunlight just ahead.
As Milligan said this, he was suddenly engulfed by the brilliant light ahead. When they looked again, he was gone. The children gasped. In a flash, they ran towards the shaft of light where he had disappeared. There, they found only a rickety ladder and climbed out of the storm drain. They gathered their bearings and found they were standing in front of a rambling house of several stories, several thousand feet from where they had started. But where was Milligan? As they were taking this all in, to their surprise, they were greeted by a squat, powerful-looking man in a weather-beaten jacket.
Who are you? Where's Milligan?
Here, I'm in disguise.
Some disguise? I hardly recognize you. Are you a magician?
I'm nobody. Please, go up these steps. Rhonda will be with you soon.
Rhonda Kazembe? The green-haired girl?
Do you suppose we're gonna meet anybody normal today?
I'm beginning to doubt it.
While they were waiting, a nagging question that had been bothering Rennie for quite some time came back again to the front of his mind.
Sticky, there's something I wanted to ask you about your parents. Do they know you're here?
We already talked about this, remember? I got their permission to come here and everything. Kate, did you hear that the yellow lady gave us the runaround when we told her that we had some phone calls to make? You see, Kate, Rennie was afraid his tutor would be worried, and it was the same with me and my parents. So he asked if he could call, and she said no. Apparently, she did call them herself, but she acted very odd indeed. Did that happen to you, too?
I didn't have anyone to call. My mother died when I was a baby, and my father ran away and left me when I was only 2.
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. I don't even remember them or miss them. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. I have one memory of my father.
That's one more than I do. Let's hear it.
Well, down the road from our house was an old mill pond, and my father took me swimming there once. I thought it was wonderful. I can't picture his face, but he lifted me on his strong shoulders and back to our house. I remember asking if he could swim there again, and he said, "Of course, Katie Cat."
You never went back?
Nope. The next thing I remember, I was in an orphanage.
That's strange. Why did your father leave you? I mean, he sounds like...
Like a nice man? I know. I guess it shows that people aren't always what they seem. Or they change. I suppose I'll never know.
That's awful.
Hey, it's okay. That was a long time ago. Anyway, the circus has been good to me.
Circus?
Yeah, when I was 7, I ran away from that horrid orphanage and joined the circus. They brought me back, but I just ran away again. Eventually, they agreed that I could join the circus and save everyone a lot of trouble. That's what I've been doing most of my life, until, of course, I heard about these interesting tests. Then I came here.
That's quite a life. Don't you miss your parents at all?
What's to miss? Like I said, who wants a father who runs away and leaves without telling me why? I'd much rather spend my time with animals and clowns. Say, what's the matter with Sticky? You look awful.
Oh, what? Yeah. I was just, feeling sorry for Kate.
Weren't you listening at all, chum? I said, I'm fine. I'm having a ball.
Look, there's Rhonda.
Hi, guys. Remember me?
Rhonda? Is it truly you?
Why, you're not a kid at all. You're a grown-up.
Well, a very small, very young grown-up at that.
Well, I knew you were hiding something with that strange getup, but certainly not your age. I thought for sure it had to do with cheating.
No, it was just to call attention away from my age, and to distract you in general.
I have an idea. How about you give us some food and tell us what this is all about?
Very soon, Kate, very soon. However, there remains but one more test. But after that, whether you pass or fail, I promise y'all a good supper. Fair enough? Now, for the next test, you must go through this door, into the back of the house, up the stairs to ring the bell. Speed is important, so do not dawdle.
Is it as hard as the last one?
Some find it difficult.
Is it scary?
Maybe, but it isn't difficult. You can do it with your eyes closed.
Who's first?
You.
I can do this. So, let's see. Oh boy, I'm in a maze. How will I ever find my way out? I guess I'll go through this door. Oops, the light went out. I guess this one turned on and that one automatically turned off. Strange. Think, Rennie, think. Maybe if I found the switch, I could turn all the lights on to see where I am. No, that won't work. There's only a few colored arrows where the switch would be. I wonder, do they show how to get through? But there's 4 options. Which one is right? What was it the Rhonda said about doing this with my eyes shut? Oh, look. The squiggly shaped one is raised. You don't even have to see what color the arrow is at all. You just have to feel it. Let's go. Surely I must be getting close. Oh, there's the stairs over there with the bell.
As Rennie finished the maze and rung the bell, number 2 and Rhonda entered the room.
Good job, Rennie. That was exactly 6 minutes, 14 seconds.
Is that good?
Please close your eyes and hold still. Why are you flinching? Keep still.
Aren't you going to slap me?
Don't be ridiculous. I could slap you perfectly well without blindfolding you first. I want you to go through the maze again.
All right.
Three minutes even.
Does that mean I pass?
We asked you to complete the maze a second time to be sure you didn't stumble through the exit by accident. By completing it a second time, you proved you know the secret. Therefore, you pass.
But why did you have me do it again? You could have asked me, and I could have told you the secret.
You'd be surprised at how many people do not know there is a secret. You're one of the few to figure that out. Now, let's wait here till Kate arrives. Ah, here she is.
Aren't you going to have her do it again?
No point. She just unscrewed the ducting to get through.
Smart idea, Kate. I can't believe you thought of that.
It wasn't that difficult, really.
Excuse me, I had better check on the other boy. He seems to be having a bit of trouble.
Boy, these people have a lot of reading to do. Look how many books. That's all there is in here. Books, books, books.
Crazy. Well, at least there's a piano in the corner.
Let me see. I do know a few notes. I'm sure they wouldn't mind if I tried it out. Whoa, would you look at that? They took out all the strings of the piano and put books inside. How clever.
I guess you are right about this place. Just books, books, books.
I'd better check and make sure all my things are in place.
Say, what's that kaleidoscope for? I can't think of what that would be good for.
Well, I guess I've known you for long enough to trust you. You see, this isn't really a kaleidoscope. It's really a spyglass in disguise. See this lens here?
Yeah.
You just remove it, like that. And ta-da! You have a spyglass.
That's amazing.
It may come in handy sometime. I say, what's taking Sticky so long? I feel hungry enough to eat some of these books.
Ah, look. Here he comes now. Sticky, you made it. I thought you would. What took you so long?
Hold on. Let him go through a second time.
I have to do it a second time? Was I that bad?
Don't worry, it happened to me too.
Much better, Sticky.
How come you took so long the second time through?
I was that bad?
Did you not get the secret?
What secret? You mean the arrows? Too confusing. I just happened upon the exit by chance the first time and retraced my steps the second.
You remembered all that?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Incredible. How did you do that? Anyway, all I did was to follow the squiggly arrows. They're raised a bit from the others. You really can do this maze with your eyes closed.
Oh, that would have been useful to know.
Now that they were all together in the room again, Rhonda politely excused herself. The children wondered where had she gone. 15 minutes passed. They remained in the book room, uncertain of what to do next. Should they wait for Rhonda? They decided to do this, hoping she would return soon. They settled down for a long wait, Sticky sitting down and pulling out one of the books titled An Overview of Roman Mythology, while Rennie and Kate passed the time thumb wrestling. Finally, when they thought they could stand the hunger pains no more, Rhonda returned.
I'm so sorry about the long wait. It's all part of the test, you know, being hungry and irritable. It's important to see how you behave under stressful circumstances, particularly when you're hungry and thirsty.
Supper's ready.
The three ravenous children's spirits plucked up when they heard Milligan mention the word dinner. Eagerly, they followed number 2 and Rhonda to what appeared to be the dining room in this old house. There, they were served a delicious meal of tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches, and the children stuffed themselves until they felt as if they could eat no more. Finally, when Kate had helped herself to the last bit of the sandwiches, and Sticky had drained the last of his tomato soup, Rhonda spoke up.
I must say, you all did brilliantly.
Hardly. I just stumbled around the maze and happened upon the exit quite by accident.
Don't belittle yourself. I dare say few people could have performed as well as you under the circumstances. In memorizing each turn like that, you're a genius.
I know I never could have done that.
Besides, you aren't the only one ever to get lost in the maze. I also got lost in there on my first try.
You did?
Oh yes, several years ago when I took these same tests. I knew right away I was in a maze, but I thought I could take every exit to the right and get to the back of the house. Of course, Mr. Benedict had the maze planned out better than that.
Mr. Benedict?
Yes, he's the reason you are all here. You'll meet him after supper.
If you didn't make it through the maze, then why'd you pass?
Rhonda was the most gifted child ever in so many other ways that we decided she should pass regardless of what happened in the maze. Don't be silly. If you aren't the most gifted person ever to have taken Mr. Benedict's test, then I'm the Queen of England.
What's that you said about being the Queen of England? Was that a riddle of some sort?
No, I was just joking. Actually, I'm from Zambia.
Zambia? Do you speak Bembi then? Or do you speak another Bantu language?
Why, Bembi. Say, how on earth do you know that? Do you speak it?
What, Bembi? No, not exactly. I can read it, though. I can't get my tongue to do what it's supposed to.
That is still impressive. Rarely do I ever meet anyone who knows even where Zambia is, much less someone who knows what language they speak there.
Sticky knows a lot about a good number of things.
I see.
Wish you knew when we were gonna meet this Benedict fellow. It's been a long day, and I'd like to know what this is all about.
Actually, Mr. Benedict is ready to see you right now. He's been waiting in his study. What about the other one? How can we meet him without her? She'll join them when she arrives.
What other one?
You'll see in a minute.
The children followed number 2 and Rhonda out of the book room. Apparently, it was a ramshackle of an old place and very dusty. Cobwebs were everywhere. There were countless cracks in the uneven floor, and the walls were battered and worn. However, what puzzled the children most were the numerous books, pencils, and important-looking papers that lay scattered about the house. What were these for? What was this place, anyway? Certainly, the children had not expected that the special opportunities would look like this. However, they would find out soon enough. Rhonda and number 2 led them up a flight of stairs, turned a corner, and then opened the first door on the right. Mr. Benedict's study. However, the children were surprised. Instead of the elderly man they expected to meet, they were greeted by an enormous pile of books on a worn-looking desk.
Hey, I only see books. I thought you said he was waiting for us.
Indeed, I have been.
The children gasped. Mr. Benedict was nothing like they had imagined. He was about average height. His graying hair was rumpled, and he wore a wrinkly plaid suit. On his rather large nose were seated a pair of wiry-looking spectacles. The children were struck speechless. So this was the man who was offering them special opportunities. Before they could say anything, however, Mr. Benedict continued.
Hello, children. I have been waiting for this moment for quite some time now. I am Mr. Benedict. And you must be Kate, Rennie, and Sticky. Nice to meet you all. First of all, I wish to congratulate you all on your tests. You did spectacular. However, I'm afraid that the explanations for that must wait until we are joined by another. Number 2, any word on our missing friend from Milligan?
Not yet. He said it should be soon.
Very well. Would you please fetch them? And make sure she's had a bite to eat. Now, Don't worry about me. I have Rhonda right here.
Oh, all right. Don't do anything too crazy.
I won't. Thank you, number 2.
Did you just call her number 2?
As a matter of fact, I did. It's not truly her name, but we use it kind of as a code name. She hates her real name for some odd reason. I don't know why. It sounds perfectly fine to me. I know all of you have questions, and I only have a few answers now, though some will come later. What's on your mind?
I'd like to know who we're waiting for.
Now that I can answer. Her name is Constance Contraire, a test taker like yourselves. A most amusing child, I must say. How many pencils did she bring this morning, when the rules said only 1?
A lot, that's for sure. 37 to be precise. When I lost mine down the storm drain, she just opened up her raincoat and said, "Help yourself."
Doesn't that make her disqualified?
She certainly was taking a risk, but she refused to cheat, which is why I let her pass.
Why did she wear a raincoat on such a hot day?
You are very observant, Lenny. I believe it was to conceal the pencils.
Why bring so many pencils in the first place when she could so easily be caught?
If you find that amusing, wait till you hear what she did on a test. I believe I have it right here. Let me see. Ah, here it is. Do you remember the very first question from the test? It reads, "What is wrong with this statement?" Can you guess what she said? "What is wrong with you?" Isn't that clever? On the question about chess, instead of answering, she made up a silly little rhyme. Ah, what was it? Ah, here it is. She wrote, "Schools and rules are tools for fools." Isn't that so funny?
What happened? Why did he fall asleep? Is he all right?
Oh, he's quite all right. He'll be awake in a minute or two. He has narcolepsy.
What's that?
Narcolepsy is a disorder characterized by sudden and uncontrollable attacks of sleep.
Very good, Sticky. How did you know that?
I looked it up in a dictionary once and never forgot it since.
Very impressive. Oh, it looks like he's coming around again.
Here I am. Was I out a long time?
Only a few seconds.
Splendid. All right, where was I? Oh, that's right. Constance Contraire. Oh, wait, I forgot to mention I have a condition called narcolepsy.
I just explained it to the children.
I see that you have. You see, narcolepsy makes me sleep quite unexpectedly. People have different triggers. Mine happens to be strong emotion, usually laughter. However, it's been more general than that lately. As I learned long ago, green plaid seems to calm me. That's why I'm wearing that now. Anyway, back to Constance. I hope you found the answers as amusing as I did. Perhaps you laughed while I was asleep? Well, maybe not. Anyway, on the second test, she composed a poem to express her frustration. It was so funny and clever, too. Let's see, I think I have it here. Oh yes, here it is. Apparently, her annoyance that number 2 left out the 4th step of the test reminded her of donut holes, because these were the very topic of her poem. She is very irritated, it seems, that every donut contains a hole. She feels she is being robbed. I remember a particular felicitous rhyme between flaky bereft and bakery theft. Now, isn't that clever?
Hold it, sir. How did this girl pass the test if she didn't answer any questions correctly or even try?
Well, there's tests and then there's tests. You'll understand in a second.
I beg your pardon?
Before Mr. Benedict could answer Sticky's questions, there was a knock on the door, and in came Milligan number 2, followed by a belligerent-looking Constance Contraire.
Ah, here she is. Constance, my dear.
I'm not apologizing.
Nor were you asked to. Apologize for what, may I ask?
Apparently, rather than finish the maze, this girl just sat right down for a picnic. That's why it took so long to get her.
How amusing. Thank you, number 2, Milligan. My young friends, let me cut to the chase. I wish I could tell you that having passed these tests, you are now to enter a pleasant period of education. On the contrary, I have something extremely unpleasant to tell you. Hold on, Kate. Let me explain. You see, for years now, I have conducted these tests to recruit very smart children
to help me with a rather important project. Unfortunately, I haven't found enough people at the same time. Number 2 and Rhonda passed these same tests, but they grew up a little too quickly. It looks now that I have the perfect team close to the same age. Anyway, you may be wondering where the unpleasantness comes in, as you well might. Well, frankly, to put it simply, this project is dangerous. A mission that very well could put your lives at risk. I want to make some things very clear. It is not my wish to put you in harm's way. Children should spend their time learning and playing in absolute safety. That is my firm belief. Now then, assuming I'm telling the truth, can you guess why I would do this if it involves something dangerous?
Why should we assume that you're telling the truth?
For the sake of the discussion, let us say that I am.
If you're telling the truth, then the only reason you would put us in danger is that you believe we'll fall into greater danger if you don't.
Precisely. Well done, Rennie. And I do believe this. I am certain that you, and a great many other people, are in danger, even as we speak, and that this danger shall only increase.
Can I use the bathroom?
Please, Dee, do you truly need to go, or are you just nervous?
I can wait, I guess.
Very good. I thought so. Anyway, I hope to explain a little bit more about it, and then you'll be given the choice to stay or go. Fair enough? What is it you four have in common?
We all passed your boring tests.
We're all gifted.
We're children.
We're all alone.
What makes you think that?
For one thing, the ad you put out was addressed specifically to children, not to parents. And then, at the Monk Building, I saw only a handful of them waiting. And I know at least a few kids showed up all by themselves. And now, here we are. I'm an orphan, Kate is too, and I'm only guessing about Constance. But as for Sticky, well, I'm sorry, Sticky, but I think you're alone too.
Rennie!
Before you say anything, let me tell you this. I have always had a strict policy against taking on runaways. In light of the circumstances, however, I'm willing to make an exception. When it's time for you to decide about staying or leaving, please keep in mind that it won't be necessary to make up stories. If you decide to leave, Rhonda and Number 2 will offer you assistance. I have no intention of letting you go off into the city again, with no money, food, or shelter.
A runaway, eh, Sticky? You got more gumption than I realized, pal.
Oof. Careful, Kate.
All of you answered perfectly. You all passed my boarding tests and showed yourselves that you are resourceful. And as Rennie said, yes, you are all in one form or another, alone.
Oh dear.
What's the matter with him?
Narcolepsy.
He steals a lot?
No, that's kleptomania. Mr. Benedict sleeps a lot.
Well, I don't like it.
I can assure you, Constance, Mr. Benedict doesn't like it either. None of us does. It simply cannot be helped.
How long was I out this time?
Only a minute, sir, thankfully.
Very good, very good. Thank you, my friends. Thank you as always. Usually it happens when I'm laughing, but these days it's often something else. Now then, where was I? Oh yes, all alone. Let me tell you why that part matters. For one, children without guardians happen to be in a peculiar kind of danger that other children are not. This I shall explain later to those of you who join my team. For another, it would simply be impossible for me to put at risk any child who wasn't alone, no matter how important the cause. Parents are disinclined to send their children into danger, as they should be. As it so happens, however, I now find myself in the presence of the best possible team of children I could ever hope for, indeed had long to hope for, and with not a minute to lose. In other words, you are our last possible hope. In fact, you are our only hope.
I'm in. So if you tell me this big secret, who's going to stop me from going out and telling everyone?
Frankly, no one will stop you. However, if I hadn't determined I could trust you, I wouldn't have invited you here in the first place. And for that matter,
Even if you were to tell, no one would believe you, for you are only a child. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not attacking you. Let us strike a bargain. If you join the team, this shall be our understanding. You will follow my instructions, but only because you have agreed to do so, not because I told you to.
Fine. Now where can we sleep?
Hold on. I know you're all tired, but first we must wait for Sticky to make up his mind.
Can I make the decision tomorrow?
I'm afraid not, my friend. There's no time to waste. I hate to press you, but you must decide tonight.
Do you think the team's good enough without me?
Frankly, no. I think the team needs you to succeed.
Then how can I say no?
Well, it's quite reasonable for you to be afraid. You have every reason to say no, and I won't blame you in the least.
Come on. It'll be fun.
I don't know about that. Rennie?
I'm with Mr. Benedict. I don't blame you if you don't join us, but I'd feel a whole lot better if you did.
You would?
Absolutely.
Oh, what will I do? I'll do it.
You'll do fine.
Go, Sticky!
Much as the children longed for more answers, it had grown late. Their eyes were heavy, and Mr. Benedict deemed that they should rest tonight and leave further explanations for morning. In short order, they were given toothbrushes, pajamas, and warm slippers, and shown to their rooms. The bedroom Rennie shared with Sticky was small but comfortable, with a worn rug on the wooden floor, bunk beds against the wall, and of course, more bookshelves. When Rennie returned from brushing his teeth, he found Sticky already asleep on the lower bunk, the lamp still lit, spectacles on his nose, and slippers still on his feet. On his chest, rising and falling with the deep, regular breaths of a solid sleeper, lay a thick book about tropical plant life that he'd taken from a shelf. It was open to the very middle. In only a few minutes, Sticky had read half the book. Rennie marveled at this. He was a fast reader himself, faster than most adults, in fact. But compared to Sticky, he must seem positively sluggish. Such an incredible gift, and yet here the boy lay, a runaway, sleeping in a stranger's house. What had he run from? Standing there in the lamplit room, reflecting upon Sticky's life as he slept, Rennie experienced a curious mixture of admiration, affection, and sympathy. Curious because although he'd known the boy for only a day, it seemed as if they'd been friends for ages. And Kate too, he reflected. He was already quite fond of her. And Constance? Well, with Constance, he would have to wait and see. But enough of that for now. Rennie was exhausted. The various tests had worn him out. Without further ado, he climbed into one of the beds and pulled the covers over his head. It was not long before he was fast asleep. Bright and early, Mr. Benedict had said, and indeed it was early, but it was far from bright. As the children rose and went to the dining room, not knowing where else to meet, rain was slashing against the windows, wind groaned in the chimneys, and odd drafts sent papers flying from desktops and skittering across floors. The blackened sky outside seemed to creep gloomily into the house, dimming the lamps and lengthening their shadows, and along with the howling chimneys was heard the growling of thunder, low and menacing, and close at hand, as if a tiger prowled the dark rooms behind their walls. From time to time, the lamps flickered with the thunder, and once, just as the children were taking seats at the table, they went out entirely. The room was dark only for a few moments, yet when the lamps came back to life, Milligan stood before the children with a pitcher of juice, having appeared out of nowhere. Constance shrieked. The other children jumped. Milligan sighed.
Milligan, could I have some milk, please?
Anything else? You wouldn't have any tea, would you, Milligan? And perhaps a little honey?
And candy?
No candy for breakfast.
Good morning, everyone. Quite a bit of weather we're having, isn't it? On a day like this, you have to set something on every stray sheet of paper if you don't want a draft carrying it off. A map of Stoneton Harbor passed me in the hall just now, and on the stairs I found a grocery list I misplaced 2 weeks ago.
Leaks in the walls and drafts in every room? You should have these things fixed.
Leaks and drafts aren't priorities, I'm afraid. Our project, which is now your project too, has required every spare moment. Constance, will you pass the juice pitcher, please?
No.
Perhaps you'll be less cranky after you've eaten.
I'm on duty now. I'd better be getting off.
What does he mean by on duty?
Milligan is our, well, for lack of a better word, our bodyguard. He has other tasks, but his first duty is to make sure we're safe. Of course, until now, we haven't been in direct danger, but now that you're here, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. The important thing is that he's here to protect you.
Protect us from what?
I'll leave that for Mr. Benedict to explain. Never leave the house without Milligan. Inside the house, you're quite safe, though. The maze, for example, wasn't just a test. It's for security. All the arrows in the maze point to the stairway, which isn't helpful if you're trying to leave the house.
Indeed it isn't. Mr. Benedict. Hello, everyone.
At that moment, number 2 also entered the room.
Morning, number 2.
To the children's astonishment, the first thing she did was to come in and grab Sticky's toast right off his plate.
Whoa! What an appetite!
Hey, you stayed the rest of my toast.
Pardon me.
Excuse me. Very
What's
hungry.
the
matter with her?
Don't mind her. I can put some more on if we need it. You see, number 2 is always hungry because she never sleeps. A person needs a great deal of energy to stay awake all the time, and thus a great deal of food. I'm sorry. It makes me nervous and irritable, I'm afraid.
You never sleep? That's awful.
You get used to it.
We make a fine pair, don't we? I can't stay awake and you can't sleep. By the way, Rhonda, have you seen the map of the harbor? It appears to have escaped the study.
It drifted by me in the hallway. I placed it by the bell under the Swiss book on the electron-positron accelerators.
Thank you. Now, children, speaking of the bed, do you all remember where it is on the second floor landing? If you ever hear that bell ringing, I want you to gather on the landing immediately. It will only be rung in case of emergency, so don't delay. Drop whatever you're doing and go there at once. Understood? I'm sorry to put you all ill at ease, and I'm afraid I haven't much to comfort you. I can, however, begin to answer your questions. Constance, do you wish to begin?
Why can't we have candy for breakfast?
Constance.
A fine question. The short answer is that there is no candy presently in the house. Beyond that, the explanation involves a consideration of candy's excellent flavor but low nutritional value. That is to say, while it makes a wonderful treat, but a poor meal. However, I suspect you aren't interested in explanations but simply wished to express your frustration. Is that correct?
Maybe.
Other questions?
Yeah, explain what this mysterious project is.
And why we're all here.
And what do we need to do? I don't know about you, but all this waiting around makes me feel bored.
What? Boring? How can you say that?
Hold on. One at a time. I shall begin by explaining everything, and you may listen as you eat your breakfast. Fair enough?
Sounds good to me.
Me too.
Fire ahead. I hope it involves some sort of spy business.
Actually, it does. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I will start from the beginning. Several years ago, it came to my attention that messages were being delivered to people all across the world. Delivered, I should say, quite without their knowledge. However, it is worse because the messages go directly into people's minds and are absorbed without the person knowing. The messages appear in a kind of code. They come across like poetic gibberish. But from early on, I've had a reason to believe that having a powerful effect on those who receive them, which is to say, almost everyone. In fact, I believe these messages are the source of the phenomenon commonly known as the emergency. And so I have devoted myself to discovering their ultimate purpose and who it is that sends them. Unfortunately, I've not entirely succeeded.
But you've learned a great deal. You must at least admit that.
Certainly I have. I know, for instance, how the messages are being delivered.
And where they're sent from. And what the sender is capable of doing.
Yes, my friends, it's true. We do know some things. For instance, we know that the sender uses children to deliver the hidden messages.
Why children?
And what exactly do the messages say?
Well, you're not quite finished with your breakfast, or I'd show you. In the meantime, let me tell you.
Please, can't breakfast wait? Let us see right now.
Well, if you all feel this way...
You know we do.
Absolutely.
I suppose so. Since I've eaten all I can and don't have anything else to do.
Splendid. Here, let's go upstairs.
Okay.
Where upstairs?
You'll see in a minute.
And so the children were taken straight away up to the 3rd floor, down a long, narrow hallway, and at last into a room packed with equipment. It was a terrific mess. On a table against the wall sat a television, a radio, and a computer, and upon every other available surface was scattered countless tools, wires, books and charts and notebooks, disconnected antennas, disassembled gadgets, and various other unrecognizable oddments. There was hardly anywhere to step as Mr. Benedict, closely attended by Rhonda and Number 2, led them over to the television. Instantly, Rennie felt his skin crawl. It was a familiar feeling, he realized, but he had never paid much attention before. Meanwhile, a news program had appeared on the screen. A red-haired reporter with shiny gold earrings stood outside the White House, where a crowd of people had gathered, as usual, to wave signs and demand something to be done about the emergency.
Back with our news update. I'm here in front of the White House now with a crowd of nearly 5,000 people protesting the modern phenomenon known as the emergency.
Aha, here we are. Now listen carefully.
I don't hear anything unusual.
Of course you don't. Now, pay attention please. Number 2, engage the receiver.
Here it goes.
What in the world? What's such strange voice?
Just listen.
Market 2 for you obfuscate.
I only hear static.
Hold on. Let me adjust this louder. There we go. Can you hear it now?
The missing aren't missing. They're only departed. All minds keep all thoughts, so like gold, closely guarded.
You want to take the next one?
Ah, here we are.
Mow the lawn, mow the lawn. Always leave the TV on. Brush your teeth and kill the germs. Poison apples, poison worms.
There we are. You can turn it off now.
What does obfuscate mean?
To make so confused or opaque as to be difficult to perceive or otherwise render indistinct.
Huh? I don't understand.
I think he means to make things muddled.
Thank you for the dictionary definition, Sticky, and thanks, Rennie, for the translation. Now, back to the point. Would you believe that this child's voice is currently being transmitted on every television, radio, and cell phone in the world? Which means, of course, it is being absorbed by millions of minds. And yet, although an important part of every mind, this child's messages are being heard, understood, and taken seriously in another part, the part that is aware of itself. The messages remain undetected, but this receiver I've invented is capable of detecting and translating them.
But how could people with different languages understand that kid?
The messages transmit in every language. I've tuned the receiver to English only because that is what we all speak. I sense your confusion. Not convinced? Number 2, switch the channel, please. There we are. See? The messages are in dozens of languages and are affecting millions of people. Just because they don't speak English doesn't mean they aren't affected.
This is so creepy. It's like...
Like having a strange person whisper in your ear while you sleep?
Okay, that just made it creepier.
How is this happening, Mr. Benedict? I mean, those messages, or whatever they are, how are they being sent?
To put it simply, they depend for their mobility upon external agents.
Mr. Benedict, that's hardly putting this simply.
Quite right, Rhonda, quite right. Forgive me. Simply put, the messages ride piggyback on signals. Television, radio, cell phones, all these things make use of invisible signals, and the sender has found a way to take advantage. The sender has virtually discovered how to control thoughts.
So the messages are just thoughts? That's it?
Indeed, although I wouldn't say just. Thoughts carry a great deal of weight.
But why does the sender use children to send them?
An excellent question. It's a devilish trick and a necessary one. You see, only a child's thoughts can be slipped into their mind so secretly. For some strange reason, they go unnoticed.
I've never met a grown-up who believed me capable of thought.
She's absolutely right. People pay no attention to what children have to say, much less to what they think.
Whoa!
Sorry, blood sugar's low. Let me grab some peanuts.
At any rate, I believe the sender uses children as sort of a filter. After passing through the minds of children, the messages become virtually undetectable. Where adult thoughts would lumber into the mind like an elephant, children's creep in on cat feet and find a shadowy place to hide.
Nobody notices them at all?
Oh, some may be vaguely aware of mental activity, but if so, they attribute the uneasy sensation to something else.
I don't recall ever having felt that way, like something's going to happen, but I don't know what.
That is because you all love the truth. You see...
Sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Benedict, would you please have a seat? Makes me so nervous you standing there like that. Too many hard things about.
Fine, number 2. We'll all sit.
Okay.
You see, although most people care about the truth, they can nonetheless, under circumstances, and given proper persuasion, be diverted from it. Some, however, possess an unusually powerful love of truth, and you children are among the few.
We do?
Your minds have been resisting the hidden messages.
Is that why your test asked about whether we like television and radio?
Exactly. Of course, it's possible to enjoy watching an occasional television show or listen to the radio every now and then, but in general, you don't like it. This is because your minds, so unwilling to be deceived, are avoiding exposure to the messages.
I don't see what's so dangerous about all this.
We haven't come to the panic part yet.
Panic part?
Oh,
great!
Something is approaching, something dreadful. These messages are connected to it, but they are only the beginning. What's coming is worse, far worse.
A looming darkness, like storm clouds creeping in to cover the sky.
What is it?
I'm afraid I don't know. I sense your confusion. I should have said I don't exactly know.
We have good reason to believe in this coming threat, children. It's just that...
but if you have good reason, why are you just sitting around? Call the government, alert the authorities.
An excellent point, Constance. In fact, I was once a trusted advisor to certain high officials, many of who presided over government agencies. But things have changed. Not only have these agencies been dismantled, and a number of good men and women gone missing, but officials formerly attentive to my remarks have grown skeptical of them.
Did you just say good men and women gone missing?
Vanished.
Several years ago, when I heard that some operatives had disappeared,
I naturally inquired about them. But my questions, no matter to whom I put them, and I put them to many people, were met with an astonishing lack of regard.
The agents? Have they gone missing?
Gone missing? That's preposterous. They choose to go away, you fool.
It was perfectly silly, I was told, to be asking such questions. Somehow, it was believed that these missing agents chose to go away, although there was no evidence of any such thing.
So that's how you have these strange messages having an effect on people?
Quite right, Rennie. At least, that's one example.
Wait a minute. How do you know these messages have anything to do with that?
Because of that phrase we heard on the receiver. The missing aren't missing. They're only departed. Don't you think there's a connection?
You're right. Okay, so the authorities are being snookered by hidden messages. But how could they resist the facts? Show them where the receiver gizmo, Mr. Benedict. They'll have to believe you.
Snookered?
I'm afraid they won't. The receiver would be considered insufficient evidence. For all they know, the messages might be my own invention generated by the receiver itself.
But Mr. Benedict, if you explained how it worked, scientifically, I mean, how could they not believe you?
A reasonable suggestion, Rennie. A very... Now let's see, how do I put it? I can't exactly, well...
What Mr. Benedict is too embarrassed to say, children, is that even if he did explain it, no one would believe him because no one would understand him. That's the downside to being a genius. You can't... Just because you understand something doesn't mean anyone else will. Mr. Benedict is too modest. He can never bring himself to say it. He's tried to explain it to any number of people. But not only are they skeptical to begin with, number 2 and I, and a few of the other assistants, are the only people who have understood him.
As usual, my friends, you overstate my accomplishment. Nevertheless, the essence of what you say is true.
Essence? Mr. Benedict.
Perhaps that was a bad way to put it.
Bad way to put it.
Among the authorities these days, it is very difficult to find a sympathetic listener.
In other words, compared to you, they're all dummies.
That, perhaps, is not the most polite way to put it, Kate.
Fine, I get it. A lot of people have vanished without a trace, and someone's sending out secret messages, and nobody will believe you about it. But we aren't really in danger, are we? You said we were in danger, but that was just an exaggeration, wasn't it?
I am sorry to say it, Constance, but no, I did not exaggerate in the least. You are in danger, even as we speak.
Indeed, even as they spoke, the bell on the landing began a furious clanging. A great deal happened in a very short time. Mr. Benedict fell asleep, having been startled by the emergency bell, and toppled sideways into the ready arms of number 2. The children hadn't even time to trade looks of alarm before the bell suddenly stopped ringing and a zap of electric sparks issued from the wall. The lights blacked out. Constance screamed from deep within the bowels of the house. The children could hear echoing footsteps and faint voices. From somewhere in the dark, someone was coming for them. After fumbling blindly about for her bucket, which she had set down at the last moment, Kate found her flashlight and switched it on, instantly piercing the room with a beam of light. Everyone gasped. Constance had disappeared.
You're listening to a Rich Family audio production based on the book The Mysterious Benedict Society by Trenton Lee Stewart. Our producers are Isaac and Josiah Rich. This program was narrated by Isaac Rich. The character of Rennie Muldoon was voiced by Josiah Rich. Milligan was played by Josiah Rich. Sticky Washington was voiced by Micah Swartz. Kate Weatherall was played by Hadassah Rich, and Constance Contraire was done by Aaliyah Rich. The characters of Miss Paramore, Number 2, and Rhonda were all voiced by Samantha Swartz. Mr. Benedict was played by Isaac Rich. Mr. Rutger, the orphanage director, was voiced by Larry Richardson. The Whisperer was played by Matthew Swartz. This audio drama was directed by Isaac Rich. Cover art was done by Samantha Swartz. All sound effects and music were either custom made or off of Pixabay.com. Our special thanks to all who helped to make this production possible. We hope you'll join us for the next adventure of the Mysterious Benedict Society.